For me, it's a big pleasure to be part of this workshop and to talk about water resources sector in Albania and its impacts on biodiversity. Water Resources Management Agency, known as AMBU, is the central institution established under the Prime Ministry responsible for management, development, and implementation of policies and strategies related to water resources sector in Albania. Also, AMBU ensures the adoption of EU standards for water use, water discharge, as well as water quality, including permissions for water use and discharge in the agricultural sector. Here I have provided an overview of the main and secondary legislation for integrated management of water resources in Albania. Two new laws that were approved in 2024 are the Law on Water Resources and the other is on Marine Environmental Protection Strategy. The Law on Water Resources purpose to protect water resources but also to improve the aquatic environment. And this law is aligned with water-related EU standards or directives, such as Water Framework Directive, which is Mother Directive, Nitrite Directive, Flow Directive, Groundwater Directive, as well as Urban Wastewater Treatment Directive. The annexes of the Water Framework Directive will be transposed into secondary legislation, which is being drafted and scheduled to be approved by the Council of Ministers by 2025. And the other law on Marine Environmental Protection Strategy, this law transposes the Marine Strategy Framework Directive, and the purpose of this law is to achieve and maintain the good environmental status of marine waters. The Republic of Albania, based on hydrographic boundaries, is divided in several river basins: Ishe, Merzen and Mat river basins, Drin, Buna and Semani river basins, as we can see from the map on the right, as well as Vjosa and Semani river basins, and only two of them are transboundary basins, Drin, Buna and Vjosa river basins. Regarding the relations between the Republic of Albania and the government of Montenegro, for the transboundary water resources and their management, the DCM on mutual relations in the management of transboundary water resources was approved in 2018, and the Commission of Management of Common Interest Waters between Albania and Montenegro has been since 2019 active and conducts periodic work on issue subject to agreements of common interest related with these transboundary water resources. But the main instrument related to the management of water resources in Albania is the National Strategy for the Integrated Management of Water Resources, which ensures the protection of habitats, ecosystems, and biodiversity. This strategy has been implemented since 2018. Four strategic pillars of this strategy are water for people, which includes drinking water and sewage services, water for food, which includes agriculture sector, water for industry, which includes hydropowers, solid waste management, as well as recreation and agriculture sector as well. And water for environment, which includes protected areas, forests, and wetlands. But this strategy also includes flood management, drought management, protected areas, erosion, as well as sustainable water use. During this period, AMBU has worked to meet the requirements of EU legislation, specifically in water sector, water legislation, by developing river basin management plans, and there are currently 5 river basin management plans approved by the Council of Ministers. Drin, Buna and Semani river basin management plans have been implemented since 2021. And for Ishe, Merzen and Mat river basin management plans, the implementation started in 2024. So there are the newest plans. In addition, with the support of the EU SWIM project, AMBU has prepared 2 important documents, which is gap analysis the first, and then overview of the important water management issues in the Vjosa River Basin. As we can see from the map, the Vjosa and Shkumbini river basins do not yet have a river basin management plan, but now with the support of the newest project, EU4Rivers project, implemented in Albania by Austrian Development Agency, where AMBU is the main beneficiary, the entire territory of Albania will be completed with river basin management plans following national standards as well as Water Framework Directive requirements. Within water resources management, a key component is not only the policy, but a process or plan on how to implement such a policy. So in this context, I have tried to highlight in this slide the importance of river basin management plans. The purpose of a river basin management plan is related to the following important aspects: care for the ecosystem, impact on the human community, as well as impact on the local and national economy. These important aspects include conservation of biodiversity, land productivity, ecosystem restoration, quality improvement, as well as maintenance of water quantity, which nowadays with climate changes is very important, as we all know. The most important instrument for implementing the Water Framework Directive are river basin management plans. But what does a river basin management plan contains? In Albania case, but not only, based on the Water Framework Directive requirements, a river basin management plan contains 13 different chapters. And the main topics that have been addressed are description of basins, which includes geographical, climatic, and socioeconomic characteristics of river basins for each river basins. The other chapter is related with the identification of environmental objectives for surface waters, groundwaters, and protected areas. Then is characterization and delineation of water bodies, which is made for surface waters, groundwaters, and protected areas. Then is the chapter related with the analysis of pressures, which is an important chapter to know the situation, let's say, and includes evaluation of status and impact on water bodies. Then is economic analysis, which is a summary of the economic analysis of water use. Program of monitoring, which includes monitoring network for surface and groundwater bodies, and the most important, program of measures, which includes costing and institutional responsibility for the implementation of the program of measures. To better implement the river basin management plan, but not only to make the right decisions regarding the use of water resources, the following should be considered: the status of water bodies, and of course, implementation of the program of measures. And based on the Water Framework Directive requirements, we all know that the concept of water body status is very important for the water resources management. But not only is the main aim of a river basin management plan. And the main aim of a river basin management plan is to ensure the achievement of a good environmental status of water bodies. And for this reason, on the left, I have shown the main parameters for determining the status of surface and groundwater bodies according to the Water Framework Directive, but not only, also according to the river basin management plans of Isha, Merzen, and Mat.